As you sit comfortably, you might rock a little side to side, forward and back to find that nice equilibrium where the head is over the neck, is over the spine, is over the hips. And then really sinking into the body, letting the chair or the mat or the floor or whatever's holding you do the holding. So letting the shoulders drop, letting the belly be, nice and loose, letting the chin and the jaw relax, separating the teeth, relaxing the ears. Sometimes there can be some tension in the upper jaw, and if we kind of wiggle around or feel like we're relaxing the ears, we can actually release a lot of tension in the neck. And just arrive right here. You might like to close your eyes, or you might like to lower the gaze. You might like to find a drishti, a single point of focus in the middle distance to help us stay in this present moment and stay in our bodies rather than drifting off into thinking or analyzing or looking. And we'll start with 5 super gentle breaths. Inhaling and exhaling 5. Inhaling and exhaling 4. And so on, just like that. We don't have to control the breath or change it. We're just becoming aware, counting down. And when you get to 1, bring the attention into the belly. Fill the belly like a balloon. Inhaling and inhaling and inhaling and inhaling. Pausing for a moment and then just slowly deflating that balloon, letting the breath be really gentle. And when you're ready to inhale, filling that balloon again, letting the diaphragm work, letting the belly swell, pausing for a moment, and then letting it all go. We'll do a couple more like that. Then take your time, but at the end of the next exhale, let the breath return to normal. In and out through the nose. And then you might like to set an intention for yourself. Something you'd like more of in your life. Self-acceptance. Boundary setting. Self-compassion. It's nice to say these in present tense. I set firm and clear boundaries. I am compassionate towards myself and others. Or whatever intention pops into your mind. Could be something you've worked with for a while, or it could be something brand new. Repeat it a couple times, send it out into the universe. Let the universe help conspire to make it so. And then we'll return once again to the breath. So in through the nose and out through the nose where you can, and just feeling where exactly the breath enters. What is the moment where the breath comes into the body? Focusing on that exact space. And then focusing exactly on where the breath leaves the body, that little gateway, probably the nostrils, where the breath goes from air in the wider world to becoming part of you, and where the breath leaves the body and becomes part of the wider world. And this is a cycle over and over, hundreds, thousands of times a day. There's this exchange, self and then not self. And it's impossible to keep track. We don't see the air particles that once were in us and now they're out in the world. We don't hardly even think of them. But it's a nice metaphor for this interconnectedness, that we are so enmeshed with the rest of everything that is going on that it's impossible to decide, okay, this is me on my own in my little island, because that's not really a place where we can thrive. We exchange the air, we eat the food, we interact with other people and the fruits of their labor. We are so connected to everyone and everything around us. And that's a good thing. That's all right. We don't have to carry the load by ourselves. Relax the belly. And the shoulders if they've gathered any tension. Coming back to the nostrils, where is that point in time, that location in the body where the air comes in on the inhale and out on the exhale. I have a poem today called Air. It is by the poet Victoria Adukwe-Bully. And it goes like this. Friend, I saw you sitting at the window of yourself, high up in the loft, watching it all go on without you. I was ice, and you were almost shadow. I waved like a child on a passing boat, unsure of whether or not this counts. I want us to remember that unreadable air, how it waits to be recast by the touch of our lungs, Our breath alone, a most humble poem. In, out, the couplet we write without thinking. Don't go. We must stay alive to our place in the family of green and breathing things that use even our sighs to make sweetness from light. What grace! Allow what is simple to be simple. Accept it as truth. Quiet as it's kept, we help the trees to breathe too. Come back to the nostrils, watching that air come in and become part of our body, become part of our lungs, to get carried through the circulatory system, to nourish our cells, and then watch that air come out. Let that air become part of the wider world, to nourish the trees, to become part of the sky. And I'll read this poem one more time. It's called Air. Friend, I saw you sitting at the window of yourself, high up in the loft, watching it all go on without you. I was ice and you were almost shadow. I waved like a child on a passing boat, unsure of whether or not this counts. I want us to remember the unreadable air, how it waits to be recast by the touch of our lungs, our breath alone, the most humble poem. In, out, the couplet we write without thinking. Don't go. We must stay alive to our place in this family of green and breathing things that use even our sighs to make sweetness from light. What grace! Allow what is simple to be simple. Accept it as truth. Quiet as it's kept, we help the trees to breathe too. Come back to the belly. And do 3 big breaths in through the nose. And let it out with a sigh. And then maybe come back to that intention that you set. Thank it for showing up for you today. Thank it for being in the background, and maybe make one teeny, 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 tiny little commitment to something that you might do today. Move yourself closer to embodying that intention. And then we'll start to move. So any way you like, but very gently and slowly at first. Maybe it's the hips or the hands. Maybe it's the neck or the shoulders, whatever feels good in your body as we come out of our relative stillness and into the rest of the world. I'm sure you can hear my cat is very keen on me moving into the rest of my day. But whenever you're ready, and again, there's no rush, you can open your eyes. Thank you for practicing with me today.